This video was entirely produced on the DJI Osmo Pocket 4. Today, let's test new features like the low shutter speed or the Anamorphic on the Osmo 4, and of course the new 240fps slow motion in low light. Last episode we filmed daylight, seasons changing, sun flares and macro lens, but before you give up on the tech, let's show some pro ways to make the Osmo Pocket 4 truly be a cinema in your own pocket. But there is one thing I do want to test. Will this camera be able to do a long take tracking shot? If I was a beginner getting this camera, what would be the secret to getting the shot? We all want answers, but maybe as daylight fades and the street lights come on. No, the answer is hidden, and as night falls, it will be like a classic Hong Kong neon lit dream, kind of like one made by Wong Kar Wai. I too am looking for beauty in the low light. And when capturing shadows, I have to do it with this Pocket Anamorphic lens. So I've switched the in-camera preset film tone to movie. Using the movie in-camera film tone has been life-changing for me. So I'm on 1/5 now, with the ISO at 50, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. With shooting in low shutter, 1/5, I can paint with light and make every day look movie-like. Look at how the in-camera preset tone looks ungraded. The option for 10-bit D-Log is cool, but there's something tactile and old school about trusting the look. I got this look without a grade. The reason these shots look so cinematic. You slow the night down to 240 FPS. You see how darkness looks. Its beautiful anamorphic streaks stand out. The blacks are shadows and dark. But what happens if you use the anamorphic plus low shutter plus a creative idea? Can we make life into a movie? Let's take this template. You stand there, you let time pass. Now let's action that. Let's do all these cinematic techniques. Low shutter, anamorphic, a creative idea. Action! No, wait, cut. Roll back, something's missing. These techniques, they're all style, but we need some substance to make our vlog more like a film. Let's borrow from Wong Kar Wai. All homage here. Let's add a voiceover. He stood in the same spot as her at a different time. If he followed, maybe they'd cross paths. It's funny, his life was sad. Maybe that's why he liked this city. Truthful. The neon never lies. The joke was he always blocked his own shot. And that was my voiceover voice. That's just an example. Pairing ideas, layering them until life is presented in 4K through cinematic vlogging. It's not talked about often enough, the way the Osmo Pocket 4 is a paintbrush. Look at these light trails. Drag that shutter. It being a pocket camera with cinema level quality allows access, a spark in the moment, lighting. You can move through the city, chase light in the darkness. And if ramping that shutter down or filming in real time, the ideas are stuck, you have the ability to slow time down. Search for neon. For this section I won't cut as much. Tutorials, they sometimes cut a lot, and I'd like to show the slow motion so you can see it at night. The truth of how the darkness looks ungraded. It's science fiction, you gotta understand. I shot my first short film on the Canon XL2 in 2006, and that was 20 years ago. I needed a rig, dolly, track, lights, to get something maybe not even 1/10 is this good. And now, this cinema camera is in my pocket. The joy I get from experimenting with light and shadow, seeing the world slow down in 240 FPS, in this darkness, with just a little bit of light. Oh, the shadows. It's really quite magical, I think, personally. And I'm only 4 days into using this new camera. I'm learning things daily. I can slow time down, I can catch neon lights, I can use presets, and all these things will make post-production a lot easier. If you commit to a look that you like, well, you don't have to grade very much. And to be honest, back in the day when I was making short and feature films, that's what I did. I lit for the scene and didn't shoot flat. You can move through the world light. It's in your pocket, you pull it out. You capture a moment, you interpret that moment. Just look at that image, like cinema. And from that, that's how you turn your life into a movie. Experiment with ideas, experiment with light, experiment with moving the camera, experiment with light trails. Using NDs at night, not using NDs in sunlight, overexposure, underexposure, the 180-degree camera rule, holding for long takes rules, they exist as a guideline, but the world is more beautiful if you blur those lines, paint outside the lines, make new techniques, then slow down and refine them. But there is one thing I do want to test. Will this camera be able to do a long take tracking shot? Now there are a few things, walking forwards and having to also walk backwards, with moving focal lengths and changing frames multiple times, moving through and entering varying lighting scenarios, but also, look at the monitor. I mean, you're seeing the result, but I looked at the monitor and I could see the colors looked good. It seemed to be in focus at the right times, and heck, maybe this long take is actually working. I mean, it seems steady. Being on an anamorphic lens means it's wide, so that also does help a little bit with the shakiness of it. With the anamorphic, there's no need to change it in post or take out any shakes, because on this kind of wider lens, usually the shakes are pretty good, so the technology takes care of that. But taking what I covered earlier on allowing darkness into a frame, maybe a car will drive past and light it up. The real-time gaffer. And despite being hyper-focused on getting this shot, my creative spark kicks in and I realize the world will add its own production value, like a restaurant will make the next moment's lighting dynamic. A one-take wonder only exists if you frame your first shot. As they say, take your best shot. On this journey down the road, we'll pass a group of people dining, and they will be background extras to make the scene more dynamic and interesting. Or a car will shine its lights in our direction and cause anamorphic streaks. You can't be the main character in your story unless you pull out and film, and this tiny pocket camera allows for you to do that.